Let's go out to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and talk to Aaron. What's up, Aaron?
Yep. How are you doing, John?
Awesome, man. How are you?
Good.
What's up?
Well, I'm not sure how to move forward with my parents, or work through things, or not work through things. There's always been a level of controllingness with them, and things have just kind of escalated out of control in the last little over a year. We've had different issues throughout. I've been married for 11 years. We've had different issues that entire time. Things have been good, and then every couple of years find out something's not good through someone else.
Give me an example. How's it impacting you guys directly?
Well, at this point, we are about 2 months ago, we came to the place that we told my parents we need some space for like 6 months. We don't want any contact.
What happened? What led up to that?
Well, it started, things escalated really last year, actually in relationship to my sister. Some things that they did with her. She was getting married, and just some of the things they did to her.
Bro, you're being so vague. I can't help. You're just like circling way high.
Oh, man.
It's a huge step for somebody to say, Mom and Dad, I'm cutting y'all off for 6 months. You cannot communicate with me or my new family because of something you have done or continue to do over time. That's a huge step. So what's the thing that happened? What did they do to your sister?
There was just, some stuff, stupid stuff. Just,
What? I'm going to start making stuff up. Either they set the bridal party on fire as they were walking out, and they were like, like a horror movie, or it was like The Shining, or they just didn't get the right flowers. Like what happened?
Well, there was stuff in regards to the finances for the wedding. They couldn't agree on finances. Started setting things off, and then she brought up some things from her past with a boyfriend that they were really liked, and made some accusations as far as some abuse there, and they basically told her, we don't believe you. So that was what really set me off. And then when we did support her, we started getting the cold shoulder. We started getting the nasty comments and all that kind of stuff.
Give me an example of a nasty comment.
Well, they after they found out we were supporting her, they showed up at our house, and I was like, hey, I'm just trying to support her. I'm not picking sides. And they're like, no, well, you have to pick a side.
What?
And no,
you know the last time that happened to me? 5th grade.
Mm-hmm.
5th grade, when someone's like, you either with us or you're not. Sounds like your parents are very, very immature.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
And it sounds like as you and your sister grow up and develop y'all's adulthood and your own autonomy, that they are losing a core sense of their identity, which is, we run the show in these two kids' lives.
Mm-hmm.
Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. So you tell your parents, they came over to your house like with a demand letter, basically saying, it's either us or your sister. And by the way, any family member that ever did that to me, I would do exactly what you did. And I would say, you've just opted out of relationship with me because I don't interact with adults that act like 4-year-olds. Bye, Felicia. Right? And so I would have done the same thing. Has that 6 months passed?
No, that's been about 2 months ago.
Okay.
And they just, conversations had gone nowhere. There was, just manipulation, working around topics. So I took them up a letter and said, hey, we need this, and this way we can't have this conversation get turned around. So they sent me a letter about 3 weeks ago and said, hey, we really want to fix things. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. Do I go back, and try and have another conversation, or is that just continuing the cycle?
I have a core rule, and it's this: I only speak if I can be heard. And so if I see a loved one, a friend of mine, just doing something so dumb with their money, right? They're just acting like idiots. Or a buddy. I don't have any friends like this, but let's pretend I did. Like I had a buddy that was like, man, I've really met this girl, and we're kind of like, we're not hooking up, or like we go have drinks once a week or something like that. And he's married to a friend of mine. If they say, hey man, what do you think about that? Or am I crazy? Bro, you just opened the door like a vampire and invited me in. I'm coming in. I'm gonna give you full picture. But if you're being done with your money and you don't ask I'm just not gonna start giving you wisdom or advice or what I think is the right thing to do. I used to do that all the time, and I almost became abusive with that. And so that's why, like, even on this show, I wait till people call me, and then they call me, and then I'm like, all right, I'll tell you what I actually think about it. And so if you think you could sit down with your mom and dad and you talk and they would listen, and you were able to say, my sister, your daughter, came to you and said, I was abused, either emotionally or physically or sexually, and y'all sided with her old ex-boyfriend. And when she reached out for somebody and I, as her brother, stepped up, you made me pick sides. I don't do that. And so if you ever want to re-engage with us, you have to choose to never again put me in a position where I'm going to have to choose sides between my mom and dad and my sister. I'm not going to do that. And if you think they could hear that conversation, and I'm sure there's a host of other things that y'all need to talk through, right? Because how did you say it? They said some things, and actually they got in their car and drove over to your house and said, you have to cut your sister out and shun her too, Dwight Schrute style, or, right? Like that's more than just saying some things, right? So I know that this has been bigger issues. If you think they could hear it, I don't have a problem with having another conversation. But that conversation needs to be something that you've written down and that you read to them and they commit to listening and not responding before you get finished.
Okay.
If you think in your heart they're not going to listen to anything, they never have for 30 years, they've never listened, they're not going to listen now, then you don't even have to respond to the letter because you've given them a boundary, and that's in 6 months we'll reconvene. So cool. In 6 months, I'll write them back and say, I got your letter. Thank you for sending it. Period. That's it. Sometimes when somebody puts a big, strong boundary, it can be manipulative to throw a, woe is me, please forgive me, or they didn't even ask for forgiveness, but a woe is me, I want to fix this grenade over the wall of your boundary, hoping you'll pick it up and at least send a text. Because if you send a text, now we got a little crack in.
Right.
What does your gut tell you?
My gut tells me that nothing's changed.
Okay. Go with your gut. Go with your gut.
Yeah, I mean, my thoughts were like, I gave you enough stuff to apologize for. Like, if there was a chink in your armor, if there was, a softening of your heart, whatever, like, you just said something. You just, apologize for something, apologize for whatever. And I didn't see any of that.
Yeah. If somebody sends you a note that says, we need to fix this, I really want to fix this, and they doesn't include an apology, then they're going to want you to tell them you're sorry and fix all the stuff. But at the end of the day, they opted out of a relationship with you by forcing you to choose between you and your sister, which is just insane. And you called their bluff and you put up a boundary. Good for you. I'm really proud of you, man. I'm really proud of you. But if your gut says, man, they're not going to listen, they're not going to hear a word I say, then I say save your breath. Save your breath. Are you going to feel guilty? Yes. Are you going to be sad that your parents act like they're so mature like that? Yes. Are you going to be heartbroken that your parents won't forgive you? I mean, won't ask for forgiveness? Yes. They won't apologize? Yes. It doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. It's hard, but it doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do. I'm proud of you, man. Proud of you for protecting your family. I'm proud of you for sticking by your sister even when it was hard and you defaulting to belief over accusation. More women need men in their lives that default to belief. And, man, I'm proud of you for not just getting sucked right back into the vortex when your parents wrote you some mushy letter without an apology in it. Good for you, man. Good for you. Hard adult stuff. And I wish it was different, but we got to choose reality, right? And I'm proud of you. Proud of you.